Hi everyone, Mary here on behalf of MovieGameNostalgia.com. Hope you're all well. Little movie review today. This one's out on the on the 8th of June. Is it the 8th of June? Yeah, this one's out on the 8th of June to buy. So it's a little review on a movie called Waiting for Anya. Please, if you're new to the channel, push your subscribe button there in the corner. Push the bell notification so you know when these little movie review vlogs and TV drama review specials, etc., etc., coming out. Please make sure your notifications are set to public so you get to get all the notifications. It's amazing how many people forget. Yeah, Waiting for Anya. It's actually based on if you remember, Michael Pagoga, is it? More Pugo, who obviously did The War Horse. Remember The War Horse? Obviously aimed at younger readers, the books, and I think this Waiting for Anya was aimed at younger readers as well. But obviously this has now got the been developed into a feature film, it's a 12A rating here in the UK. Please check your territories. 108 minutes. It stars Noah Schnapp, Angelica Houston and Jean Reno, amongst many others, of course. It's out to buy, as I said, from the 8th of June 2020 at $7.99 on DVD, $9.99 on Blu-ray here in the UK. Yeah, I mean, the novel was obviously not as well appreciated as War Horse, but it had a lot of people liked the novel. It's about well, it's the main character is a shepherd boy who smuggles, who ends up with the end. Well, it's not just this one boy. It's obviously he's part of a little group where they actually, during World War II, where they're actually trying to smuggle Jewish children across the French border into Spain. So obviously it involves shepherds and various things, you know, obviously different things going on in this. And it's based on a true story, so it is a true story, which is even better. It's not getting well loved, to be honest with you. I've literally, as I'm doing this review, just watched the film, and there is criticism. There's a lot of criticism on Rotten Tomatoes. The critics have only given it a 38% positivity rating, which is pretty naff, but it does get an 8.3 out of 10 rating from the users on Rotten Tomatoes, so that sort of gives you a hint that it's perhaps better than what the critics are saying. The Metascore rating, again, the critics again on Internet that you can catch on Internet Movie Database, they're only giving it 3.8 out of 10 for sort of virtually spot on with the Rotten Tomatoes score, and the actual reviews only score between 3 to 5 out of 10, and little comments like the drama loses momentum. Yeah, I can partially agree with that. Less impactful than it should have been. Yeah, I mean, I'll go into my little views on that. I mean, yeah, I can see where the critics are coming from, but I think they're being very, very critical, which, you know, it's not like critics, is it, to be critical? Internet Movie Database, Joe Public, you and me watching it, 5.7 out of 10. So again, below a watchable rating. And that's 313 separate reviews. Yet of those, obviously, as I said, the people who left a review, obviously, there's people who leave reviews, there's people who read reviews and leave a score, there's people who just leave a score. But overall, the score, there's actually 62% of watchers gave it a score of 6 or more out of 10. So that's pretty good, with just 38% 5 or less. So certainly almost 2/3 of the people seem to like it and think it was watchable. Yeah, MGN review, movie game nostalgia review. Yeah, I can understand the criticism because I did feel a little bit of that myself. I mean, it was a superb opening. I mean, the opening scene, very, very powerful. You think perhaps that's what the critics are talking about. You don't quite get that. Well, you do eventually, but throughout the film, you don't quite get that sort of. You know, that passion, that sort of grabbing, you know, that you would expect from this sort of film with such a dark storyline. I mean, within the first 10 or 15 minutes, I'm not giving too much away. Obviously, you got a really powerful scene, and you got the guys are going out on a bear hunt. You know, I think that's another film, isn't it? A bear hunt, but or a song. I don't know what. So, yeah, so it never quite lives up initially with that, and it's not perhaps as graphic as some of these German things. There's certain elements you think you're gonna again, because it's Michael Mapogo. I can't even say his name right, can I? But how do you? I don't know. How do you say Mapogo? Anyway, sorry, it's Michael, the writer Michael. Yeah, I mean, because it's him, you know, it's not going to be overly dark. I mean, there's certain scenes where you think something nasty is going to happen, and it doesn't. And what's nice and what I like about it is that obviously it doesn't portray all the Germans the same. I mean, there's certainly one German who comes out of it okay. At the end of the day, a lot of these Germans were just, you know, all right, say, oh, they're just following orders. But I mean, obviously in the army, the German army, obviously there's a lot of just ordinary soldiers and ordinary officers. So this does show that little side of it as well, a little bit aside from the German point of view, which is nice to see because you don't always get that in these sort of World War II sort of, certainly in the sort of terrible stories of the Jews and what happened to them. You don't often get the sort of a little bit of compassion for a German, which you do get in this, which I think added to the film itself. It can chug along, as I said, and I think this is where the critics, as I said, because after that powerful opening, it does chug along a little bit and not overly, not the word excitement, because it's quite a powerful story in itself, but it doesn't quite get to grips with it. But I think that's because it's more, I think the original was more aimed at young readers, and they've sort of gone a little bit like that with the film. It would sort of appeal more to a younger audience without being too graphic, and it does get over the nastiness of things without being over the top, which some of these films can be, obviously very violent graphic scenes. So it does get over. So I can understand the critics, and perhaps that's what they're expecting. But if you've seen films like The War Horse, obviously, which is a superb film, I mean to me that's a similar thing. It doesn't have to be overly graphic to get over the point of the story. And I think this does it. I think Waiting for Anya is very similar. And as I said, yeah, there are elements. Stick with it. There are elements. But again, the last 15, 20 minutes of the film, again, quite powerful, quite moving. Very, you know, I'm not going to say I do get quite emotional with films. I did get like that a couple of times, you know what I mean, without being too over the top from an emotional point of view as well as a graphic point of view. But yeah, I think those reviews are a bit mean, and I think even the 5.7, you know me, I'm usually mean reviews, but I quite liked Waiting for Anya. I was quite impressed for it. And it was something I would watch with not dead young children, obviously, but certainly it's a 12A. So yeah, any child from 10 upwards, yeah, as you say, they may get a little bit bored with it, but obviously there's enough in there for them to perhaps come back and do other things and watch it as well and get sort of involved in the story itself, because it is based on a true story, and I think it was well worth the effort of making it. And as I said, it's the sort of story where I may even go back and read the book having watched the film. So I'm going to give Waiting for Anya, a World War II drama, a 7 out of 10 rating, which is one of the biggest ones I've given, one of the highest I've given for a few days, actually, of watching a few films and of watching a few TV dramas at the moment. But yeah, I'm going to give it 7 out of 10, which is above most people's, apart from the Rotten Tomato Joe public who seem to like it, but there weren't many of those. Obviously, there's only about 12 reviews, I think, for that 8.3 out of 10 that the Rotten Tomatoes give it. So yeah, I'm going to give it that. So as I said, it's out to buy 8th of June 2020. It's worth it. I mean, I think it's a crack. It's only $7.99 on DVD, $9.99 on Blu-ray, so that's well worth a watch. Waiting for Anya. MovieGameNostalgia.com rating of 7 out of 10, which is pretty good, if you know me. It's like some other people giving it 9, I think, if I give something a 7 out of 10, but I quite liked it. Say it does have its faults, but overall, I don't agree with the critics. Yeah, it's all right. It could have been a bit more powerful all the way through, but I don't think that's what it was aiming for. I think it accomplished exactly what it wanted to do, to be honest with you. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please, for all the latest movie news and TV drama reviews, etc., please follow me on Twitter. I've got a couple of accounts. You can follow me on either at Charles Deneen spelled DINNN, or at Nostalgia_movie, and I always check every couple of days and follow everyone back. So if you have to follow us, quid pro quo. Yeah, that's it. I'm on Facebook at Burn the Name with links to MovieGameNostalgia.com, my little website. Obviously, I can do these little vlogs and stuff, but I have to obviously earn some money to pay the bills and so keep the lights on and everything. So please, if you can get onto moviegamenostalgia.com and have a look around, smashing. If you can buy anything, even better. But there's no obligation. Even going on it helps me with my little analytics. And I sell old and rare DVDs, movie posters from the 1990s and 2000s, and some board games as well. So if you have a look on that, I mean, my stock's a bit dwindling, not dwindling. I mean, I've got about 3,000 or 4,000 items on there, but I can't replace a lot of stuff at the moment because I can't get stuff from suppliers. It's stuck in limbo in the post office somewhere, some of my stuff. So there you go. But please have a look. If there's anything you fancy, especially films. I mean, some great films, some great film posters, some great films from the 90s and 2000s, some great actors as well, some fantastic posters. Anyway, thanks for watching today. Please join me again for something very similar very soon if you can. This is Bernard of you, hoping that you all look after each other, look after your friends, look after your families, and we can get through this current problem we've got, obviously, and we're getting there, aren't we, slowly by slowly. So we'll be doing cinema reviews soon with a bit of luck, rather than just all these out to buy stuff and all this sort of thing. It'd be nice to do a cinema review, isn't it? What's coming on at the cinema? That'd be lovely. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please catch me again very, very soon. This is Bernard saying goodbye for now. Thank you. Bye-bye.